Kia ora. Heavy rain and strong winds making their way northwards up to the South Island today, and as we head in towards tomorrow we'll find it's the North Island's turn for that big band of wet weather. You can see there's still some showers feeding through towards the Bay of Plenty as we head through this afternoon, but a lot of the weather this afternoon will be focused down the South Island with some heavy rainfall feeding into parts of Westland and Fiordland. Some of that rain spilling across in towards the east as well. But I think what we'll really find on those eastern areas where those winds are picking up, so some strong wind watches through there. You can see though, even for the North Island by the end of the day, the showers are becoming more persistent and there's more cloud across those western facing parts of the island. As we head through the night time, that wet weather continues to move northwards up the western coast. Some heavy falls of rain making their way in towards Nelson and Tasman, arriving on towards the North Island by the early hours. Places like Taranaki and Wellington waking up to a wet start to the day. You can see for some of the clearer skies through the night, head towards these eastern coasts. But I think generally for many of us, it's a cloudy story through the night time with rain stretching northwards, turning more patchy in the far southern areas there by the end of the night. Looking ahead in towards Friday, wet, windy weather across the North Island, particularly up across those western sides. Some dark blues there showing some pretty intense bursts of rainfall, some severe weather watches and warnings in place. By the end of the day, we start to find some clearance back across the western side, places like Taranaki, even for Auckland. Once that worst of that rain clears away in the morning, it's a better end to the day. And for the South Island, some clearer skies back with us by the end of Friday. But with our winds turning more southerly, I think back into some cooler temperatures for many of us. Unsurprisingly, with that much rain and windy weather around, we've got some severe weather warnings and watches in place. The heavy warnings you can see across the South Island for that heavy rainfall really for Thursday. The ones on the North Island as we head through towards Friday for places like Northland, eastern parts of the Bay of Plenty, Tongariro National Park and also Taranaki Maunga capturing those heavy rain warnings. But also a severe thunderstorm watch out for Northland and a heavy rain watch for Auckland with a chance of perhaps some locally intense bursts of rainfall as this rain runs through. So worth keeping a close eye on the forecast. Perhaps a good day again to be working from home for the North Island. You don't really want to be heading out in the wet weather. It's also pretty breezy up north. We'll find those strong northerly winds through the daytime on Friday. These ones down the South Island again, really the risk for these areas is as we head through Thursday. And for the North Island, those watches are pretty much for Friday. Taking a look at the North Island, you can see we start off with a fair amount of cloud and wet weather across those western areas. These eastern areas generally looking like a bit drier and brighter, a bit warmer as well. These darker blue colours are showing some pretty intense bursts of rainfall, so a fairly wet looking story to start the day on Friday across those western areas, particularly in towards places like the Bay of Plenty, these eastern parts, east of Whakatane, where that rain continues to feed through, and up in towards Northland as well. You can see by the end of the day, we're back into some clearer skies for places like Northland, Auckland, Hamilton, Waikato and down towards Taranaki. But it's a wet start with some heavy spells of rain to watch out for. For Wellington, I think we'll find it's a rather cloudy story pretty much through the day. Some showers and some longer spells of rain. In terms of our temperatures, highs in Auckland of 21 degrees Celsius. But it's worth saying with a fair bit of breeze around as well and quite gusty winds, it will make it feel a little bit cooler through there. Not a bad story out on these eastern coasts and perhaps some of the warmer spots of the country as well. 22 degrees in Gisborne. Down on the South Island, where we start off with that wet weather, there are those heavy rain watches through parts of the Tasman region, and that rain is just taking its time to clear away from the likes of Christchurch. It's a more patchy affair out in the east than we'll find out in the west, but I think generally a bit of a cloudy start today. The rain perhaps pushing still through in towards the likes of Christchurch and Canterbury through towards the afternoon, but even here I think we should find an improvement into the evening. A more marked improvement though further south with the early wet weather and early showers clearing away to give us some brightness and some clear skies. A little bit cooler down south though, especially once we head in towards the night time. We're back into lows of 1s and 2s through parts of Canterbury. 2 degrees Celsius there for Queenstown from a high of just 12 degrees Celsius. As we go through towards the weekend, well, the good news is this wet weather continues to pull away. Perhaps a bit of early rain across those northern parts of Tairafti and some showers down the far southern parts of the country. But generally, Saturday is looking like a dry looking day. And for most of us on Sunday as well, other than a touch more cloud pushing through towards Canterbury, Sunday looks to be a dry, fine looking day too. So get the Friday weather out of the way. And it is looking like a better weekend, but there will be some heavy spells of rain to watch out for and some rather windy weather as well. So keep an eye on those severe weather watches. And as always, you can find all the details of those, all the latest information over at MetService.com.